welcome to our Your Reality Recaps Survivor recap. I am Dancing Amy, and I'm here to go over episode 2 of Survivor, Triple H. And I help out with a lot of things here at Your Reality Recaps, but if you've been around for a while, you probably know me. If not, welcome. But we do lots of different shows here, including we're going to be having some new ones rolling out next week. So keep your eyes peeled. Lots of new things on the horizon. But if you want to help support anything that we do here at Your Reality Recaps, become a fan here on YouNow. You can always like all of our videos on YouTube, as well as become a subscriber on YouNow or become a patron at yourrealityrecaps.com/patron. That's Patreon. Or do a one-time only donation at yourrealityrecaps.com/PayPal. So, episode 2 of Survivor. This episode was titled, oh goodness, it was titled, I'm a Wild Banshee. I liked this episode so much better than the premiere. I have to say, overall, I thought it was way more interesting, and it was not as really, I guess we got to see a lot more of all the tribes. We got to see a lot more like people in general. So I think that overall it was good. But I guess to just kind of start it off, my number one thing that I need to let you guys know, last week I made a mistake and I have to apologize. So last week I told you all that JP and Ashley on the Heroes Tribe knew each other. I was wrong. Jeanne Sue on Twitter pointed it out to me, and I thank you very much, Jeanne. It's actually Patrick and Allie on the Hustler Tribe that know each other. They're the two that went to college together, which actually, that came into play this week. So thank you, Jeanne Sue, for pointing that out. And yes, last week there were so many new people. I got them all confused, so I apologize. And yeah, it absolutely played a huge role this week. So, and it does put a little twist on last week if they weren't actually a couple, but that just means that they became real fast friends. Talbert's mom says, big college, sure they even knew each other or on the same campus. Actually, Patrick helped Allie like move. So they did know each other. I don't know how well they knew each other, but they had at least encountered each other. But same thing, they still didn't know that each other was going to be on the show. And like in the preseason interviews, Allie had said, oh my gosh, there's a guy here that I went to college with. Patrick didn't really mention it in his interviews, but Allie definitely did. So it was it was a shock to both of them. Yeah, absolutely. Maxwell's mom says, I only know about 5 names so far. I'm actually doing pretty good with knowing the names. I'm pretty impressed with myself. Maxwell's mom says, I don't believe it. They knew. If they did know, they played this really well, because most people, like, they haven't mentioned it. They like completely snowed it, like snowed casting, as well as the people who did the preseason interviews. They didn't tell their tribe mates. They didn't tell anybody. So if they did know, good on them for sure. Now, on to the episode. So we start off the very beginning of the episode where Chrissy starts off by, we see our little recap of where they get back into camp after the tribal, so we see the heroes. And Chrissy is saying that she can use the super idol as a decoy and that it has no power, but it still has power. And that's exactly what we were kind of hoping. So I'm glad that she's thinking of it the exact same way. So the fact that they put that in the episode very first thing leads me to believe that that's going to be a big part of this season later on. That's probably going to be a big event that we'll see. So I'm kind of excited about it. Maximus' mom says, I like that she's smart. So I'm glad about that. Alan also said, with regards to tribal last week, that he got what he wanted, that he wanted to create suspicion that JP and Ashley are a power couple. So I guess good for him, but he kind of made himself a target to JP and Ashley. He just kind of blew up their alliance, essentially. As Ben said, the core four is gone. It's every man for himself now. Which, yeah, the core four never really was a thing, I think. I think it just kind of was something they were trying to do, and yeah. Talbert's mom says, but usually in 2 weeks, everything changes. Yeah, true. Crystal B says, it'll be funny if she tries to use it with Ryan once they merge. Yes, I am hoping that is exactly what happens with the fake idol, or the now fake idol. I hope Chrissy tries to use it with Ryan. Yeah, that would be my ideal situation, or even Devin, either one, since Devin knows about it. So then the next little clip that we see is we go on to the Hustlers beach, and we finally get to meet Simone. And she is definitely a character. We see her being so happy that she was able to do an aqua dump, as they refer to it, as most of the survivors refer to it. And she says, relieving herself is my biggest milestone. I guess if that's your biggest milestone in life, good for you. I mean, I don't know what to say. I am kind of like her. I hate the outside, so I don't know necessarily why someone who hates the outside would be on Survivor, but hey, I guess she's good for her. So she definitely, I don't know, she was not what I was expecting at all. She was very different on the episode than she seemed in the than she was in the preseason, so I have no idea. But she did say, the one thing that surprised me is that she did offer to clean the fish. Yeah. But she did say, I've been playing Survivor my entire life. She said she's got 10 brothers and sisters, and that this is the Hustlers tribe. This is the work ethic tribe. So I don't know. Yeah, Talbert's mom, she fell for production's claim as a big break into television. That's possible. Definitely possible. However, most people don't really get famous off a Survivor anymore. I think maybe like 3 people ever did. But hey, you never know. But hey, she did give us some funny moments, I guess. So, but the one thing that I do say is it did start Allie's kind of mastermind edit of the episode. She starts right at the very beginning of the episode saying that she wants to keep Simone because she could mold her and see her, like, could use her as like putty in her hands. So I think that Allie is getting a pretty good edit, because throughout the episode we do see her say that. I think Allie is going to be probably a pretty big player in the game, because we see her being shown with like these strategic confessionals a few times in the episode. So keep an eye on Allie for sure. Destiny says, do you think Cole will tell people about the idol he found with Joe? We'll get to that, Destinies. We will get to that. Maximus' mom says, but Simone never went camping before Survivor. True. True. That is true. But she can't be the only person who's never gone camping. I think there was somebody else in their preseason interview that said that they didn't even go camping. I think, was it I think Dr. Mike said that he like didn't, or he'd only been camping once. Yeah, Dr. Mike, I believe. I'm pretty sure he had said that he's only been camping like once in all of his prep. So, I don't know. I guess you don't really have to go camping to be on Survivor. It's not really the same thing, but whatever. Survivor, you just kind of have to be. It's not like anything else. It's completely different. There really isn't a way to necessarily completely prepare for it, so it is what it is. Just don't say it out loud during tribal council. Yeah, I guess that's a good point. And so then we jump over to the Healers Beach, and we see a little clip of Cole and Jessica. We see Cole and Jessica fishing. Yeah, we see Cole and Jessica fishing. And Cole likes Jessica. He likes her a lot. He thinks she's cute and attractive, but he's like a couple of years younger. Meh. I don't know. Parawolf says, I feel bad for Cole. Probably thought what's her face was going to share the idol, or what's his face was going to share the idol. Yeah, Cole is definitely giving off the dumb surfer vibe, I guess would be a good way to put it. I don't know. And Jan Solo says, bad idea. Showmances don't last on Survivor. I kind of agree. I don't think a showmance is ever a good idea on Survivor. It goes back to the power couple thing. Anything that is going to put an outright target on you, it's not a good idea. And plus, who wants to, like, I wouldn't want to be in a showmance on Survivor. Like, honestly, like kissing somebody or cuddling with somebody that's like dirty. That's just gross. Like, no. Ugh. Sandy, and they haven't brushed their teeth in no way. Ugh. No, awful. No way. Exactly. No toothbrush. And yes, I know Rob and Amber lasted, but we are on season 30, whatever. 30, yeah. 35. 35, and there's been one Survivor couple. Survivor is not the place to go. Seppi says, I'm getting you on Survivor with some super hot guys, Amy. Nope. Not gonna happen. Oh, goodness. So, and then we see Joe is still telling everyone that Mike has an idol. He's kind of freaking out because he wants to go find the idol himself. He is like massive Tony Tony vibes to me, because he's just like running around like a madman. He kind of looks like Tony, and he's frantic like Tony. I don't really care for Joe personally, but yeah, so he takes an opportunity when everybody's away from camp to go run and find an idol. And he finds a map on a tree. Now, with this map, he sees what he thinks is the raft. Now, honestly, when chat room, when you first saw this map on the tree, did you first think, like, agree with him that it was the raft? Because when I saw it, I was like, that's not a raft. I was like, that's obviously the well. Like, you could tell it's the well. Like, there, I was like, why would a raft, something that can move, be on a map? Yes, Crystal B says, when have they ever put the idol in the water? Well, they have put the idol near the water, like in a little like ledge near the water where you had to actually climb through the water to get to it. And Zach T says it was a square with no center. Not really raft-like. Exactly. Very well-like. Crystal B says the tide would wash it away from where it was put in. Yeah, that's true. Talbert's mom says raft moves 5 feet from the raft. Exactly. So he goes and tells Cole that he has a raft, or he has found this map. Now, this is the stupidest thing. Like, okay, so you want to make sure that Cole doesn't have it. All right, sure, why not? I think that Cole made the stupider move by not looking at that map and thinking, that's not the raft. And then just saying, oh no, that's the well, out loud. Like, let me just give you the information. Like, I just, Cole, I don't think is going to be very good in this game. He said that he thinks that Joe probably sees him as a really good resource, but now Joe has an idol. And Cole is a athletic guy who is your typical merge boot. Good move, Cole. Good move. Jan Solo says that was a dumb move on his part. Annie says Cole should have sent him in the wrong direction. Exactly. Exact. He says go at night and take it for yourself. I just now my question is, who do you think that this idol is going to come back to bite? Because now that Cole and Joe both know about it, which one do you think it's actually going to come back and bite in the butt? Is Cole going to tell everybody that Joe has it? Or is Joe going to try to use it to get Cole out? Because I think Joe might get real paranoid and that Cole knows about it and want to try to use it to get him out. Or is Cole going to want to flush it out? It could go either way. Max's mom says Cole is dumb enough to tell someone. Talbert's mom says the guy who gave away the idol. Christine B says make him feel safe, then blindside him. Talbert's mom says, Cole's not real smart though. Wolf says Cole is going to do nothing. Well, Annie, that's a good point as well. Annie says if Cole is, voted out, he should tell everyone as he is leaving that Joe has an idol. That's always an interesting way to go out. And Maximus mom says Cole will make it far, sadly. I don't know if that's necessarily sadly. It's always good to have some eye candy on the show, and Cole is definitely good eye candy. I will look at him all season. But I don't think it's really a spoiler because it was in the next week on. We do see next week Cole is going to tell Jessica about it. So there will be those two who do know about it. So it'll be interesting what comes of that. So something to keep an eye on for future weeks. But I have a feeling that this idol is going to make Joe even more paranoid. Because I think he was already real paranoid to begin with. And I think he might end up either A, playing it too early, or B, overplaying because of it. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be good for Joe at all. Annie says, Joe will think he has more power than he actually has. Yes. Jan Solo says, Joe's nuts, just like Alan. I tend to agree. They are kind of our two crazies, I think, this season. And honestly, I do like the entertainment from them, so I'm good with it. And then we check in over at Heroes Beach. We see JP is super paranoid about being seen as a duo with Ashley, so he wants to go and talk to Chrissy. And then that goes into a nice little segment of Chrissy being like playing her heart out. And basically, Chrissy is just going through all of her options of who she wants to work with now that she is no longer on the bottom of her alliance. She can basically pick at this point who she wants to team up with. She said that JP can be helpful in challenges, but isn't that smart. That Ashley is a good player, but she's not convinced that there is not a power couple. And then she said that after Alan's blow up, she doesn't want to work with him, but Ben has a lot of social charm, and that she can think several steps ahead strategically, so they will complement each other. So she has chosen to work with Ben. And I don't know necessarily how great those two really are going to do together. I feel like I still don't think Chrissy's going to go super, super far, but you never know. You never know. But Ben, again, says that this week he's saying, Chrissy and I are in the driver's seat. That's the exact same thing he said last week about him and Alan. So last week I thought that we were, that Ben was kind of had a little bit of a false sense of self-worth in the game. I'm kind of interested if we're getting that again, because I don't know what's really stopping. I mean, technically, I don't know necessarily why Ashley and JP aren't in the driver's seat anymore. I don't know, because if Chrissy and Ben are going to make themselves a pair, why are they not any more dangerous than Ashley and JP? I don't get it. A pair is a pair. And Zach T says, I don't think they'll work well, but at least she's trying to strategize. I do agree. At this point, they just need to not go to tribal, and then she'll be all right. And yes, so I don't know. I'm not really a Ben fan. I have to admit. Crystal B, that is a good point. They agreed not to let the others see them talking, but they're on a tribe of 5 people. They're gonna talk. It's impossible. They're around each other all the time. What are the names of the other 2 on the hero tribe called out by the football player? Ashley and JP. Yes, you are very welcome. Zach T says, I'm getting little Culpepper vibes from Ben. Not my cup of tea. Interesting. Like, which Culpepper, though? Like, returner or returnee Culpepper, or his first time Culpepper? Because second time Culpepper was way better. Talbert's mom says, you see how not talking to someone worked for Kevin. Yeah, good point. Good point. All right, so then original Culpepper, Zach. Really? Yeah, I do see that. I do see that completely. Then we go back to the Hustlers Beach. And we are starting to see the goofy, annoying Patrick edit. Patrick got like the oddest edit I think I've seen of a person. Like, they made him out to be like the jester of the season. Like, let's just make fun of him. Normally they give people the bozo edit, like just kind of poke fun at them. But my goodness, there was like nothing of actual like substance with Patrick the entire episode. It was all bad. It was all bad. It was all very over the top. And I had heard from Simone's exit interview that he was actually doing most of his stuff because he wanted TV time. So yes, Patrick is the redhead. So she thought that he was super annoying because he was trying to always play up for the cameras because he wanted TV time. So, well, he succeeded at that. But Patrick is the one where we got the episode title from because he said, "I'm a wild banshee," to describe himself. Yeah, he likes to screech and run around, and I don't know. Yeah, I find him kind of annoying. Um, Talbert's mom says, "I agree. Patrick got kind of a strange edit. I mean, there really isn't a major bozo yet that we have seen." Yeah, he kind of takes the cake, I think. And then we see Lauren kind of gets a little bit of a like a try. There is peak into a kind of emotional moment, but it's just for a split second, where she's saying that when she's out on her commercial fishing, which I almost missed it, that she's always alone when she's out fishing because Lauren is a commercial fisher for her, like for work. So she's definitely, like, she's used to being alone and she's not used to working with other people. So she doesn't want to be excluded in her tribe. So that was just like, oh, that's kind of sad. And she's like, and they're all younger. So she actually makes an effort to make a connection with Allie. And then we get more Allie mastermind edit. And she talks about how she feels like she's babysitting Patrick a lot. But Patrick definitely trusts her. But if the tribe wants to let Patrick go, she's going to have to let him go. But again, Patrick and Allie know each other from college. So that's why Patrick trusts her. But she's willing to cut him, which is good because you don't really want anybody to come between, you and $1 million as a survivor. Yeah. And after that, we're on to the challenge. I kind of liked this challenge. We had a little bit of swimming. We had the puzzle. I liked the puzzle. I thought this was a unique puzzle. I don't think we've seen anything like this exactly before. And I was a little worried that the healers tribe wasn't going to win, but I should have never doubted my healers because they're going to be, I don't think they're going to go to, I'm going to call it now. They're not going to tribal council, at least until they lose. If there's a swap and they lose half of their members, then they'll go to tribal council. But if there's a swap and they still keep half their people, they're not going to tribal till the merge. Calling it. But Talbert's mom says healers have more patience and think things through quicker. I agree. I do agree. I do also agree that with some of the classifications, they don't really mean much. Like a lot of the people in the different tribes could be on opposite ones, and so. But I just like the people in the healers tribe a lot. And Annie says they seem to have clicked the best. I agree with that as well. Maximus' mom says, except Joe should have been on the hustler tribe. I do agree with that. But that's kind of why the classifications, the tribes that they're on, they don't necessarily matter. It's just kind of how it is. They could have all pretty much been on any of them, but that's how they are now. I think we're probably gonna have Joe around until the merge. So be prepared, unless he gets swapped off. We should be seeing a swap here within the next couple of episodes, I would guess. So he may get swapped off, but then he'll have his idol. So he'll probably be here for a while. But with the puzzle, we had, for the healers team, we had Mike and Desi for the healers doing the puzzle. They won. Desi is someone that we didn't hear from at all, like this entire episode. But she won the puzzle, or she won the challenge for them, because the swimmers were the last ones to the platform. So they came from behind to win. And they won immunity and a huge fishing reward. Then Heroes Tribe had Chrissy and Alan doing the puzzle, which surprised me that Alan was doing the puzzle, but all right. I didn't expect him to be a puzzle guy. I don't know why. So they won second, and they won a smaller fishing kit. And healers had Simone and Allie on the puzzle. And Lauren sat out. I don't know from the healers tribe who sat out. I completely missed that. But I know Lauren sat out from the hustlers. But hustlers lost. So they're going to go to tribal council. Oh yeah, Joe sat out from the healers. Thank you, Zach. And yeah. Crystal B says, based off the previews with Cole telling Jessica about the idol Joe has, do you think they will throw a challenge to try to get him out? Ooh. I don't know, because the one thing about that is, if on a tribe that small, trying to flush an idol is really tough. And they would, if the vote split goes wrong at all, the person who they intend to go home could not, and they could end up going home themselves. I can't imagine. I can't imagine that they would. I don't think it's worth it. Even if they tell everybody, it's way too easy to flip it around and for them to say, okay, well, we'll flush out the idol and we'll get Cole out too. It's, yeah. I can't imagine it. Yeah, that I would probably imagine them just holding on to that information. I would possibly see them trying to team up with Joe, more than likely, because of the fact that he has the idol, so that they can know when he's going to use it, than trying to throw something. Yeah, that is a good question, though. Max's mom says Cole will go home before Joe. Cole will go home before Joe. Yeah, I think that's probably correct. I agree with you there. All right. So we're almost through the episode. So next we go back to Hustler's Beach. Simone. See, this is where I thought, okay, Simone is she's gonna light a fire and she is gonna stay. She says she wants to shape the narrative, and she starts telling everybody that Patrick is annoying and unpredictable, and then you start hearing everybody else saying that Patrick is unpredictable. Like every single person says that Patrick is unpredictable. And I'm like, okay, this is actually working. And even in a confessional, like Allie says, people see Patrick as unpredictable. So they're repeating it multiple times to each other. They're repeating it on their own, of their own volition. I'm like, okay, maybe Patrick is gonna go. But Ryan brings up a good point and says if we lose Pat, we're probably gonna lose every time. And that's like the biggest point against keeping Simone. Because he's really good around camp. He's great in challenges, but he's unpredictable. That was Ryan's confessional. He says, it's not like I'm dragging a lemming around in Simone. She scares me. She's really smart. So I don't know. So we go to tribal council. And again, at tribal council, Patrick even slips up and he says, I feel like I can trust most of the people in here. And like everybody turns and looks at him in like shock. Which honestly, I don't even think that's necessarily that big of a deal personally. Because obviously, if I were going into tribal council, I would be knowing, okay, I'm voting for somebody. Obviously, that's somebody I don't trust. So why would I say I can trust everybody in here? Like, I don't know. Like, it just, yeah. And he says, do you think they reacted because of Jeff? It's possible. It's possible that Jeff gave a reaction, and so they were like, mimicking Jeff. I don't really know, because I was like, okay, that's not really that big of a deal, but his tribe thought it was. But he said it was a slip of the tongue and I was talking too fast. But I think the fact that he backpedaled made it sound even worse than it was. And he's a terrible liar is what that proved. Which may not be a bad thing. May not be a bad thing to have a terrible liar around, because then at least you know that you'll know when they're lying or when they're telling the truth. So, and Simone didn't really do much to try to save herself, really. Her fighting statement to stay was, the struggle is real. I'm a city girl. I've never been camping, but I'm a hustler. Send me back to the bugs. I don't want to go home. Yeah. And with that, Simone was voted out. And bye, girl. And bye. She made it 6 days in the game, and yeah. I expected more from her, but that's all right. Yeah, Jan, says, I was kind of surprised that Simone left. I thought Patrick would be voted out. I did too, with the kind of, way that the camp talk was before the vote, or before they went to tribal council. I thought that it was going to be, Patrick, but because also part of it was because of the fact that Simone was kind of like the evident target from the very beginning of the episode. I was like, there's no way she's going home this episode. Like, that would be silly. My other thought was, since she wasn't seen last episode, maybe it was because she's going to go far in the game, so that we were going to have more time to see her later in the season. And that's why we saw so much of Patrick last week. Nope. It was just, she just didn't get much episode time last week, or she didn't get any episode time last week, and this was her boot episode, so that's why we got to hear from her today. So that was it. Hi and bye. And in the next week on, it was super, super quick, but we saw Pat and Lauren kind of fighting with each other, Patrick and Lauren, but apparently on the island they call him Pat on his tribe. So Pat and Lauren hate each other, and then Cole does tell Jessica that Joe has the idol, and Jessica kisses Cole on the cheek. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens with that, but Hustler's Tribe could be kind of interesting to see what's happening with Patrick and Lauren fighting, but I guess we'll see. Maxwell's mom says Patrick is now going to get more sunburns. I screech watching him fry. Yeah, that poor guy, he's gonna be so red. Oh, goodness. He's already red. He's just gonna be insanely sunburned by the end of this. As I say, gingers don't really even tan, so. Max's mom, enough with the CBS showmances. Yes. It's like we had enough with Big Brother, and now we're seeing it on Survivor. So we got Patrick and Jessica, or not Patrick, Cole and Jessica. They're trying to kind of push Ashley and JP. I don't think there's one on the healer or the Hustlers Tribe at the moment. I don't think. But yeah. Zach says, I know a ginger, she always battles with the sun. Yes. Destiny says, do they get given sunscreen? Actually, yes, they do. They are given sunscreen. They just have to put it on. Most people just, I don't know. I don't know what SPF it is or anything like that, but apparently it's not strong enough for him. Yeah. So I guess overall, I think the season's going good so far. Overall, I'd like to see episode 2 better. I am still going for still liking Rourke as a winner pick, even though she didn't really say anything this episode. Silent isn't always bad. Goodness. But no, I think Allie absolutely is another potential one to keep our eyes on. She had a good edit last week as well. Yeah, she could be one to keep an eye on too. Ryan, I think, is a little, yeah, Ryan is going to be one I think will probably go far. Ryan's the turtleneck guy. Max's mom says I'm team Dr. Mike. I do like Dr. Mike. Yeah. Who else does everybody like in the chat room? Let's see. Zach T says Rourke, Chrissy, Allie, and Desi. If we can learn more about her. Yeah, I want to know more about Desi. Because she is one that we haven't really heard a lot about, and it's been, yeah. And we actually haven't really learned too much about Rourke on the episodes, but yeah. Absolutely. I'm liking a lot of the females this season, even though we've had 2 of them go in a row. Maybe we'll lose a guy next week. Yeah, even it up. Little Big Red says I like Jeff Probst. Actually, I do like Jeff this season, that he's not pushing the theme as hard as he always does. So props to Jeff. Props to Jeff for not being too over the top with it. So I'm good. I'm good with Jeff. Talbert's mom also brings up a good point. We haven't seen any psycho girl freakouts yet. We like that too. Absolutely. Because yeah, usually the first couple of weeks there's somebody who is crying or like just snaps. It does happen usually pretty soon where they just can't adjust. So I'm pretty impressed with the people overall. And also, I do have to say I'm kind of impressed with how, like, even though last week Alan was absolutely crazy, this week he came through for his team on the puzzle. He was not crazy. He was like, we didn't see a lot of him, but what we saw of him, like the fact that we didn't see much of him on the episode is actually a good thing, I think. Yeah, I think that bodes well for Alan. Yeah. Tony says, I like the 3 themes. I do too. Generally, like the brains versus beauty versus brawn, and the red collar versus white collar versus blue collar. I do like those. Talbert's mom says, I'm finding they're all really sort of vanilla insane. There has to be some sleepers we aren't just seeing yet. Oh, well, yeah, I think give it some time. There's some definitely some sleepers in there for sure. We know that Alan and Joe are not, so, but give it time. There will be more. They're only 6 days in on the episode so far. Yeah, they're not even hungry yet. Annie has a good question. Did Jeff make any ball or sexual innuendo remarks yet? I didn't notice any during the episode. Normally, if you haven't noticed, normally anytime there's any sort of, like, on any of the challenges, he always makes some sort of remarks that come off wrong. And at this point, everyone just thinks that he does it intentionally. But I didn't actually notice any on this one. Yeah, that's a really good point. Jeff, you're letting us down. Goodness. Yeah, yeah, absolutely, Tony. Keep it up or keep an eye out for it, or an ear out for it on the upcoming episodes. Or if you ever go back and watch any seasons, especially the past like few ones, it's very, very evident with all of the challenges for sure. um, and so I guess before we wrap it up, does anybody have any final thoughts or considerations, feelings? I would say for me, since my favorite character, my person that I was looking forward to watching character-wise is now gone, I'm gonna have to say that my person that I am looking forward to watching now, character-wise, I'm gonna have to get on the I'm gonna get on the Alan train. I think Alan's gonna be a good character, and I think he'll be around for a while. So, I think he'll be fun to see what he does. Hopefully, I'm not the I'm not the kiss of death for people. So, yeah, we'll see what Alan does. But my winner pick is still Rourke. Yeah, I do have a good feeling about Alan. But thank you all very much for coming in and hanging out with me. And I do hope you all have a great evening. And we will see you all next Thursday. Hopefully back for a regular time. But stay tuned to our Twitter. And make sure you are a fan here on YouNow to be notified every time we go live. We're doing a lot of BB19 house guest interviews almost every night, actually, so make sure you stop by to check those out as well. But again, I am Dancing Amy with your reality recaps, and I hope you all have a good night. Bye, everybody. Bye.